What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com, PlayPicks.com. I'm going to talk to you about Thursday night football between the New York Football Giants and the Washington Football Team. As always, everything we do here is absolutely free, so go ahead, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and then let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this game. Stick around a little bit later. We'll give away a gift card. It's that time of year, right? Let's go ahead. We'll give away a gift card here. Got a couple of plays on the game tonight as well. Of course, the big news coming out of this is a free betting preview over here. A couple of different ones over at the Lines, absolutely free again. A couple of the big news here coming out of this one. Of course, the injury reports are something we're going to be monitoring. And the big news here is Ryan Fitzpatrick going to be out. Got a hip problem. So it's the Taylor Heinicke show for the Washington Football Team. Now, Heinicke came in last season, got some meaningful snaps, and actually looked pretty well doing it. So if you're a Washington Football Team, not a Washington Football Team fan, not only are you not really worried about this, apparently the market not all that worried about it either, because whenever we come over here and take a look, you can see that the line, I mean, there are threes to be had out there. 3.5 is kind of what we're looking at here. That means that, some books out there, that Washington's favored by 3.5 points. That was what we were looking at whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick was in the lineup, as it is anyway. So we're not really worried, apparently, and neither is the market, about the fact that Fitzpatrick is out and Heinicke is in. Of course, Curtis Samuel being out, we know that he's on IR, so he's going to have to be replaced. De'Ami Brown is a guy that probably is going to see a little bit of increased workload as soon as he, listen, he's a rookie, so we know how that goes. You kind of get worked into the offense here. So he should see some more work this week as well. On the Giants side of things, I think the big one here is Evan Ingram is going to miss again. So Evan Ingram going to be out for this Giants team, and Saquon Barkley is officially listed as questionable. Of course, we'll know 90 minutes before game time whether he's going to be able to play or not. But we're sitting at 3.5. There's a total of 41. There's 40.5 as well that's out there. Super, super low total. And I think if you really kind of start to break this thing down, you realize why, right? I mean, both of these teams are I would say you're looking at a couple of teams that are still trying to find kind of an identity here. I mean, this Washington team, whenever we last saw them, they're playing pretty decent defense. But I mean, at the end of the day, defense cannot win you ball games if you don't put points on the board. And that's kind of what we're seeing with those teams. And then when you look at the Giants, the Giants defense is going to be pretty good all year long, maybe even has a chance to be an upper half defense in the league. But Daniel Jones has been careless with the ball, and he continued to be careless with the ball last week, and that ended all chances of the Giants having any chance to do anything in the game. And one of the problems with that is when it all comes down to it, is that the Giants have one of the worst offensive lines in all of football, right? They have one of the worst offensive lines in all of football, and it's easy to just kind of look at, and I'll let you look at some defensive statistics here back from 2020 from last year, but you take a look at what he's got to work with here. And listen, he's running for his life all the time. He's under pressure all the time. He's under duress. And so it's easy to make a lot of mistakes whenever you got big, gigantic guys ready to rip your head off that are trying to track you down. So I kind of understand what's going on here. Now, look, the biggest mismatch obviously is going to be that offensive line versus Washington's defensive line. One of the very best defensive lines in all of the NFL. Chase Young, Montez Sweat are going to be guys that are going to be continually mentioned all year for dudes that are causing havoc out there, whether it might not be the counting stats and sacks just alone, but they're getting pressure on the quarterback. And we know pressure is what it's really all about. Making these guys uncomfortable, getting them out of rhythm, making them throw before they want to, making them have to change where they want to go with the ball, take off, run, whatever it might be. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. From this game. That's going to be the big turning point is can the Giants offensive line do anything to slow down what you saw? This past week, listen, this Washington defensive line is as good or better, probably better than what they saw last week with the Broncos. And the Broncos just absolutely annihilated this offensive line for the Giants. So that is a big, big, big thing here in this game. Now, on the opposite side, can Taylor Heinicke put together and do what he did last year? And that's going to be one of the things that we're going to have to try to assess here. I personally think that there's not that big of a drop-off between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heinicke. Listen, it's a couple of different skill sets. Heinicke does add the legs version of the skill set that we see in quarterbacks these days to the fold for Washington, right? I mean, he's able to do things with his legs and create and extend plays, and we saw that last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick also, one of the things I said coming into the season is quarterbacks outside of Tom Brady, who is superhuman and on, the TB12 and the whole 9 yards and who knows what, all the vitamins and stuff that he takes and all that. But outside of that, I mean, we see quarterbacks get old pretty quick, and I mean, take Drew Brees, for example, right? I mean, Drew Brees was elite, and then kind of fell off of a cliff as far as what he was able to really do out on the field. Now he was able to have some success because he's Drew Brees. Football IQ higher than just about anybody's and understands the game better than anybody. But Ryan Fitzpatrick is not Drew Brees, and so I thought there was a chance that maybe this could be the year that he falls off anyway, at his advanced age, football age, that is. So Taylor Heineke, I don't think is that big of a drop off here for this Washington team. And so kind of when we add things up, right? I mean, where's the big advantage for the Giants in this game? I mean, maybe depth at wide receiver would be it, because you do have Kenny Golladay, you do have Sterling Shepard, you do have Darius Slayton, and then you drafted Kadarius Toney. So, I mean, depth at wide receiver. But if Daniel Jones doesn't have time to throw the ball, and if he's under duress all day, and if he's taking hits, and he's getting pressured, and he's getting sacked, then it doesn't really matter who's catching the ball for you, because they're not going to be able to catch the ball. So that's kind of what we're looking at in this one is really and truly is the New York offensive line going to be able to stand up at all to Washington's defensive line? And my guess here is probably not. And so I do have a play in this one, and I went ahead and I did take Washington at 3. And so I went ahead and took Washington at 3. There are 3.5s out there if you want to play the Giants, so be sure and shop around. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take this strong defense that, again, the Giants got exposed last week by a Broncos defense that is not as good as this Washington defense. And here they are on the road at Washington on a short week. Are they really going to have a chance to turn things around from what we saw this past week against the Broncos, where they got pretty much embarrassed up and down the field? I just don't think so. Washington, I think, controls the line of scrimmage there for and doesn't allow New York to run the ball at all. Daniel Jones has to throw, and bad things happen, And so that's where I kind of go with this. I think Taylor Heineke has a perfectly fine day. And, while I don't think that this is going to be a super exciting game, I actually lean to the under, even though the total is so incredibly low. I actually lean to the under 41. This has like 17-10, 17-13 written all over it. But maybe will actually be a small play for me by the time it's all said and done in this one as well. The other play that I have in this game is from a prop standpoint, and I'm coming over here receiving yards on Sterling Shepard, and I'm going to play the under 59.5. Listen, he had an eruption game last week, but he had a 37-yard reception that really bolstered those stats. And that's really just not the type of player that Sterling Shepard is anyway, right? And of course, the more comfortable Kenny Golladay gets in this offense, the more targets he's going to get. Darius Slayton is really the downfield target as is. And again, as Toney gets better and as Toney learns the NFL a little bit better, he's going to draw more targets and more playing time and more attention. Sterling Shepard is an awesome underneath guy that is a super reliable underneath receiver, but that's the thing. His average depth of target over the course of his career is 9.1 yards. 9.1 yards. If we look at this 59.5 total right here for Sterling Shepard, he went under this in 8 of 12 games last year. And 2 of the games that he went over was against the Dallas Cowboys, who had one of the worst defenses in recent memory last year, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are right there with Dallas as one of the worst teams in the NFL as far as pass defense goes. So he was under an 8 of 12, and then 2 of the ones he went over were against 2 of the very worst bottom-feeding pass defenses there were in all of the league. So under 59.5 here for Sterling Shepard in a game where I think Daniel Jones probably under duress a lot of the time. Sterling Shepard just runs really short underneath passes here. I have the projection here in the high 40s. All 3 of the projection systems that I trust all have this under the 59.5 as well, though I will say that one of them has it at 54.5 as there, and so that doesn't leave you very much wiggle room, but it's still under the 59.5. So for me, under the 59.5 here on Sterling Shepard. Guys, a full betting preview right here. Also, you have the prop finder, which is awesome. You just go ahead and type in. So I did it for Sterling Shepard here. You type in a player's name and bam, all of the props come up for all across the industry. So you can compare and contrast. And especially like, for example, I like the under on Sterling Shepard receiving yards. Well, look, it's 59.5 at DraftKings. It's 54.5 at FanDuel, 55.5 at PointsBet. So you're wanting to play this at DraftKings if you're playing the under. If you want to play the over, then you want to head over to FanDuel. So just compare the books, and it's very easy to do here on the page whenever you use the prop tool right here. And that's again absolutely free. Everything we do at the lines is absolutely free. Guys, we are going to give away a gift card. So let's do this. Let's make it simple. It's going to be a low-scoring game, so the range of outcomes should be fairly small here. So maybe we'll give away some gift cards here. Guess the exact score of the game. I want you to type it in the comment section, but when you do, be sure and indicate the team. You can't just put two numbers down there. I'm not going to guess which team you think is going to win. So it needs to say Washington, blank, Giants, blank, whatever it is. Whatever score you think it's going to be. If you get it exactly right, we'll send you an Amazon gift card. If there's more than 3 winners, we'll do a drawing or something like that or whatever. But people are going to win some gift cards here. And again, should have some winners because, again, I think this is a low-scoring game, so the range of outcomes should be pretty tight in this thing as well. You got to be a subscriber to the channel in order to win, so be sure and do that. You got to like the video as well, and takes 2 seconds to do, so just hit the couple of buttons. No big deal. Be here with us all season, guys, and also check out the podcast that'll be posted at the lines as well, where we have a mega pod breaking down every single game for the NFL season. Good luck on all your bets here on Thursday Night Football.